Whoa, there we go. All right, welcome into the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Company. It's Pugs, it's Parker, it's Sunglasses. We do this each and every night at 9 o'clock. It's 9 till about 11. You know, I got to tell you, got to be honest with you, I'm liking the new hours. We used to do this show from 10 o'clock p.m. until midnight, and I didn't know if I was going to love this or not, but I am. I'm liking the 9 o'clock hour. We also do a daytime show. We call that High Noon. That's more topic-driven, current events, that sort of thing, stuff that's trending, anything and everything that people might be talking about. That's what we like to get into on the High Noon edition. This one, though, this one's a little bit different. This one's a little bit stupider. Let's welcome in the guy who's getting over something, some disease. Yes! Hot sauce. It's Sunglasses. Hi, Sunglasses. What's new?
Well, I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah, you look better. You were better. You were good today. I got a nice compliment about you today. Yeah, I'll read it to you.
I was at about 80% today.
Yeah, well,
I feel like I'm about 90 now.
Hold on, listen. Look at this. Look at this little compliment I got from you, for you. E compliments you well. He's smart, interesting, and a thoughtful dude. Your insights are funny. I loving the show. Look at that. Isn't that nice?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one. That comes from Kevin. Let's see here. Byron loves the new hours because he's usually asleep by 10 o'clock these days. You know, I wish I could say that. I would love to be able to be the kind of guy that can go to sleep by 10 o'clock at night. I can't. Doesn't matter. Even when I was, oh my God, hey, you know what? Let's stop the dilly-dallying. Let's bring in James Parker from New Orleans. There he is. Look at him, black and white. He's got
what
the whole.
What is that? Like, are you in concert, dude?
That's
this is my 1984 motif. I've been working
George
on
Orwell thing.
New settings. Yeah, this is my Orwellian. I'm Goldstein, like in 1984 when they're having the 2 minutes hate. See him doing this thing right here, and they're all yelling at the telescreen.
And you remember the big Apple Super Bowl commercial where the girl ran in with the hammer and threw the screen? That's what I always think of.
Oh, and I just love looking back at that and the irony of how Apple is the behemoth now.
You're right. Apple is Big Brother now. And back then, they were the upstart. They were the underdog.
We're here to shake up and take down the system. Now they are the system.
Yeah, gotta be honest. I don't love it all the time. I mean, I like it. I like don't keep it like that. I like to be able to see you. I also don't like you in black and white. I mean, I think it's cool. It's nice to like change it up, but it's a little distracting.
I would like your face on these other motifs because I have the Star Trek Enterprise motif. Yeah, I put the chat window up over there if you want to, and the sort of 1950s living room motif, right? Like we're all just sitting around. About to watch the new Leave It to Beaver or something. I don't know what they were watching back then.
Yeah. There you go. With his cigar.
You see, that one I don't like because I mean,
pipe.
I like the imagery. I like the artistic vision of it, but you're too small. You're way too small. I can't see your facial expressions. I can't.
This one's pretty big, and this one I love this. This one just tickles me to no end. I don't know why it's so funny. But I also have the side shot. I have the front shot. And then I have this.
And that's the one I like. That's the one that that one's stupid. I don't even get why that one exists.
That one's stupid. This is like the wide shot when you're going to commercial. I have all these logos up here. I'm sorry. I was doing another show earlier.
That's all right. That's all right. You get to work.
So, yeah, I like this because, look, my shirt's still like a little bit red. I didn't filter it all the way down to black and white. So it's, I don't know. It's trying to be stylish, kind of like white stripey, where you're black.
No, what you're trying to do is you're scoreboarding us with your ability to do these things, and I don't like it. I don't like that you're the most interesting box in the collection.
It's not a contest. That's not my intent.
Oh,
how long?
Says the guy leading the contest.
Yeah, well,
how long till he leaves his box?
What?
How long till he leaves his box? I thought you were headed out of New Orleans.
Well, I'm taking the box with me. The box is portable. But yeah, I'm probably here for another 2 weeks, maybe. Yeah.
How's the family? They getting settled in Tyler, Texas? That we learned yesterday is not Terrell, not to be confused with Terrell, Texas.
Terrell, not Terrell. Terrell. Eric Bishop is from Terrell.
Yeah, wow. I've never met a black guy with that name who went by Terrell. They're all Terrells, and I know a couple of them. So
yeah, I do actually. That's a valid point. Terrell Owens. There's a guy in my high school named Terrell. Yeah.
Terrell. No, I'm saying I know Terrells. You're saying Terrell's, but I guess you just brought up Terrell Owens, and there you go. So you
Legit.
proved that I'm not entirely right on that. All right, we're looking to see if I'm going to be entirely. I'm very distracted today because big basketball game, Bulls Mavs. That's why I'm wearing my Bulls.
How is it a big game in freaking November?
It's a big game because we're a new team. We're a new team being put together with a lot of optimism and a lot of hope. We beat the holy fuck out of the New Jersey or Brooklyn Nets the other night by 30 points, and I predict this afternoon that Bulls were going to wax the Mavs by 20. And I'm trying to see if that prediction is going to come true. I think they're up by like 17 right now, late in the fourth. So it's 111-94. So 17. We're up by 17. We're going to win this. I'm telling you, my prediction of Bulls by 20 is going to hold up. We're going to win this game by 20 points. Not with plays like that, though. Well, I'll tell you, how did this Luka Doncic kid get so good? Where did he come from? He didn't grow up playing playground ball. Where did he grow up playing? I
think we have to stop saying that, actually. I think we have to stop assuming that the little Serbian and Croatian and Bosnian boys over there in the Eastern European former Soviet bloc did not grow up playing basketball, because they face the same thing you do as city kids over here. All you need is a hoop and a ball, and you've got 10 guys occupied. And I think after, Tony Kukoc and whoever else pioneered the way through, that we've now had a full 20, 25, 30 years of a generation of European boys who very well may have played basketball growing up.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, they're better. They used to be, there was
we've always liked basketball, but look how much other countries have started paying attention to, like, the international basketball champions, the ones that have the slanted lane.
Well, not to open up a can of worms that's going to irritate you, but when the hell are we going to catch up in soccer then? Well, when are we? We've been playing soccer now for 3 decades, and we still suck on the world stage.
I have the answer to that. The answer to that is when soccer can solve its biggest dilemma, that's the barrier to the American culture, and that's flopping. When soccer can solve flopping, the American culture will accept it more. We do not have a tolerance for that, and since it's not our alpha or beta or even third tier sport, anything that turns us off that's so fake like that is so far removed from our cultural norms. We all hate floppers. We hate floppers whether they're in football or basketball.
But have you watched NBA basketball in the last 5 years?
Flopping
is a major part of the game now. So American NBA fans have accepted flopping in basketball.
To its detriment. The NBA has accepted flopping. But the thing is soccer's not coming from the place of the NBA or the NFL. Soccer's trying to break into the mainstream consciousness of America.
Okay, I understand that. Basketball was already established when they brought in the flopping aspect, whereas soccer is still trying to get a stronghold.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Flopping is a big part of their game.
Right. It's sort of the incumbent advantage.
I can't take it in NBA anymore. I mean, you can. I mean, I come from the.
It is awful, isn't it?
Man, I was raised on basketball in the hardcore East with the dirty Pistons and the Cavs and the Knicks. When throwing elbows in the paint was a part of the game, and people would take a hard shot and bounce right back up. Now a dude gets a simple hip check and he acts like he's got to go to the emergency room. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, does anything sound more like an old man, in Pugs, than being able to say, back in my day, they used to have the Jordan rules.
These soft, pasty boys would never be able to handle the elbows of a Bill Laimbeer.
Yeah, it makes it sound
never
100 years old. We sound like Grandpa Simpson when we do that, but it's true.
It's true. It was a tougher game, man.
I never saw Michael Jordan take a flop.
No,
I never saw Patrick Ewing take a flop. I never saw.
Well, nobody would. No, Patrick Ewing would never. Patrick Ewing was the guy making people flop. Patrick Ewing wasn't exactly a daisy.
No, absolutely not. Akeem Olajuwon never flopped.
Steph Curry, you blow on him too hard, and he falls 4 feet back and lays on the court. Are you kidding me?
Flailing arms is what it is. Like in soccer, it's when they grab their face. It's like, no one hits you in the face. Why are you grabbing your face?
There's a couple of Mavericks that I didn't realize, but they're Chicago Public League stars. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I liked the Mavericks, but I didn't know that they had so many Chicago Public League
LeBron school. Was that the LeBron school? Chicago Public? Was that the LeBron school?
No, Chicago Public League basketball is one of the most competitive amateur basketball leagues in the country. I can't say the world because I don't know what the hell Luka Doncic came out of, but he probably played some pretty competitive basketball. The way high school football is in Texas is the way high school basketball is in Chicago. It's that crazy.
I was under the impression you were making a reference to private school, but what's the little super private school that LeBron went to that cranks out talent? Isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's like a couple of high schools that do, like in Texas, A&M Consolidated cranks them out, and Odessa Permian cranks them out.
In Chicago, the one that is like that is called St. Joe's, and that was featured. That Isaiah Thomas came out of there most famously, or he was the first big one to come out of there. But St. Joe's was featured in. Do you remember Hoop Dreams? Remember the documentary about high school kids? That was St. Joe's. What they do is they're a rich neighborhood in the suburbs of Chicago that goes and scouts all the really poor neighborhoods in the city of Chicago and says, we'll send a limo to bring you to school every day if you want to transfer.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. So they're pretty good. All right, we got 2 minutes left. It's a 12-point lead for the Bullies. I don't think I'm going to get my 20. I really wanted my 20. The 30 against the Nets, a full-strength Nets, by the way. James Harden couldn't do dick against Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, as I mentioned, a 360 spinning dunk, and the Bulls are up 14 points. All right. Hey, you got a monologue today?
Yeah.
I didn't get a sheet from the monologue.
Oh yeah, you didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't send that yet.
No, it's all right. Just we can just we can free ball it.
We can wing it.
I got no worries. Yeah.
All right.
Here we go. We're gonna do a little monologue every night at this time. James likes to come on up here to the guest house lounge high atop the 1%er compound and enthrall us with his comedy takes on the day's news. We call it the monologue because that's really, we haven't really put much thought into it. But here it goes. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage here at the historic Guest House Lounge, high atop the 1%er compound in beautiful Highland Park, Texas. He's James McDonald Parker.
Thank you. Oh, you're so nice. Thank you. All right. According to a new poll, President Biden's approval rating is 38%. The other 62% said, let's go, Brandon.
Oh, good topical humor.
So topical. So topical.
Very topical.
Ghana, the country of Ghana over in West Africa? He's probably smuggled out of there before. You know Ghana, E?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they have this new weird thing. They're cracking down on homosexuality. In fact, the men there can now be arrested just for watching Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, come on. An American treasure. Dancing with the Stars. People in this country love that shit.
The gay ones? In Afghanistan, families are selling their young daughters. In a related story, Prince Andrew is headed to Afghanistan right now.
Oh, big laughs. One thing we hate here in the 1%er compound, royalty.
According to the National Enquirer, Tom Cruise is packing on the pounds lately. Have you seen him gaining weight? To give you an idea of how big he is, his next Mission Impossible movie, his mission is to eat a piece of fruit.
Whoa, look at that. Oh, Tom Cruise burns.
According to the Globe magazine, Honey Boo Boo is headed to Nashville with hopes of becoming a country music star. Industry insiders say she could be as big as Winona Judd. Two fat jokes in a row, isn't it? According to a new survey, the most popular baby names of 2021 are for girls, Olivia, and for boys, Liam. The least popular baby names are Kamala and Joe.
I didn't think about that one. The 1%er lounge, they don't like your political jokes.
That's all right. I enjoy needling them.
Who are you, Mort Saul?
I have no idea what that means. On this day in 1908, Gideon's Bible was first placed in a hotel room. And I love Gideon's Bibles. They make great Christmas gifts.
I get that one.
They don't like the knowledge jokes, but they love Bible stuff. That's great. All right. And finally, it was on this day in 1969. Sesame Street made its debut on PBS. And here we are now 52 years later, and it's still President Biden's favorite show.
Oh! 1%er That's not true about Sesame Street.
This is a very heavy Biden monologue.
It was.
He's,
I just like needling the audience. They're so sensitive.
That's not true about Sesame Street though. That fact is made up. It wasn't. It's not. That was like 10 days ago that it was the anniversary of Sesame Street. We covered it on the.
Oh, come on, man. If I just see the headline today, that's what counts.
It's okay. There you go. That's fair. I'll give you that. That's
what
fair.
am I, Encyclopedia Britannica? What kind of standard are you holding me to? Any?
Come on, Zach. See, we're under 1 minute to play. Bulls are
watching basketball.
Bulls are up by 12. I wanted them to be up by 20. I made a prediction. Oh, there we go. Steals it. AC. That's it. Caruso, coast to coast. Air jab. DeRozan. Alley-oop.
What are you talking about? Like, what are you watching?
The Bulls game. Bulls Dallas.
How many seconds you got left?
41.
Yeah, I got 41 too. They're up by 12.
You didn't just see that? You just missed that steal by Alex Caruso with an alley-oop jam to DeMar DeRozan? You didn't see that?
They're up by 12, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're balling out. That's all I'm saying. Don't be sleeping on my bullies, bitch. Come on now. You've been mocking me on this one for a month now. You don't believe. You better start believing.
So they're 8-3. They got started a little hot. That's all right.
It started a little hot. They started a little hot against some of the best teams. Like, what are you doing, James? You just doing this to change the
Mavericks are 7 and now 7-4.
Mavericks are good too. That's why I get excited when we beat good teams. That's all. By double digits. That's what I like to see. Stick it. I don't care what you're saying.
Man,
that was a great play. All right. And now, as with every NBA basketball game, no matter what the score is, the final 41 seconds will take 45 minutes to play.
Yeah, at least half an hour.
Everybody's got their timeouts and everybody's got a foul and
30-second timeouts and 5-second timeouts.
Hey, so another thing that I was distracted by this evening, did you watch the SpaceX launch tonight?
No, I didn't.
I did not.
No, that was pretty cool. It was here's what I like. Look, okay, so we got the Virgin guy, Virgin Atlantic, or no, Virgin Intergalactic. Is that what it is?
Virgin Galactic.
Virgin Galactic. Intergalactic, I think, is a little bit.
We're staying within this galaxy so far.
Yeah, maybe
intergalactic.
500 years they might add the intergalactic to it, but for this, for now it's still just Virgin.
A hell of a promotion you gave him.
It is. Okay, so you got that guy. Then you got Bezos sending Shatner up there. Then you got
with the Blue Origin.
Yeah, and then you got Elon. And look, I know Elon is the richest man in the world, and I know that a lot of people give a lot of crap to Elon and all that stuff. But of the three, I think he's the most. He's of the three rich guy, billionaire space program stuff. I think that he's doing the best stuff. I mean, he's going to a space station. He's got real astronauts. They're doing like real shit. You got Jeff Bezos just, wanting to hang out with Shatner. They're barely even going to space. And then you got the Virgin guy who's cool. I get what he's doing. He wants to make cruise ships for outer space. So that's a whole different kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. But, Elon Musk is actually doing the heavy lift, SpaceX, I should say. I don't want to give him too much credit because I know he's another polarizing dude. But he's doing the heavy lifting of shit. Like he's literally dragging satellites up there and doing the stuff that we need to do first in order for all these other bozos to be able to do the shit they want to do. And he's
Bezos.
Bozos. Yeah, Bezos is a bozo, man. His whole space program is just silly. It's just silly.
All right, it's so hard to make a final judgment because the reason that Elon Musk appears to be doing the heavy lifting is he's the one who got the NASA contracts, and so that's the air legitimacy. Would you be saying the opposite if Jeff Bezos was actually taking people up to the space station and then picking other people up from the space station and ferrying them back down? Would you say something different if it was Jeff Bezos who got the contracts to be launching these other satellites? Now Elon's launching his own Starlink satellites, these little breadbox things. But it's so hard to tell. Is Elon really ahead of them, or did he just get the contracts from the government?
Yes, and that's why he got the contracts from the government, because his shit was together, whereas Bezos' stuff wasn't. Bezos didn't have the capacity to come through on all the things that NASA wanted. SpaceX did. In all fairness, SpaceX has a couple of years of a head start. They were doing it before. It was SpaceX that Bezos saw that went, oh, I could do that too. But, whereas Bezos is no longer trying to compete with Elon, because he sees that Elon's tech and Elon's Falcon rockets and all that stuff are just way more. Boy, nobody. Look, I'm a space nerd. Everybody knows that. Nobody wants to hear this stuff. But the fact of the matter is that Elon got those contracts precisely because experts, not just you and me, but actual scientists who needed shit done, looked at all the options and went, yeah, that's the guy that's got the stuff. That's the guy that's got the rocket. He's perfected the Falcon. He's perfected the liftoff. Dude, he's lifting off with human beings inside in the middle of the night. It was dark. I mean, NASA will scrub a launch if the wind changes.
I mean, the fact that you're going up at night, I mean, that ain't really that big a deal.
This is a guy who knows nothing about NASA. Never did it. Now, tell me when NASA launched.
Just because they didn't do it doesn't mean that it's a big deal. They probably were doing it for TV coverage.
No, they did it because they've moved the technology to the point where now you don't have to scrub a launch with 10 seconds on the clock because the wind changed directions and there's some cloud cover.
Right, but what's that got to do with night or day?
No, the fact that Elon and SpaceX can launch at night means that they have taken the technology and the level to a different level, to a different place. They're able to do it. Yes. Dude, I just watched 2 hours of coverage. They talked all about this stuff. So
that's fine, but I'm looking at videos of Space Shuttle Discovery doing a night launch, Space Shuttle Challenger doing a night launch in 1983, Space Shuttle Endeavour does a night launch. I'm seeing pictures of it. I'm seeing thumbnails.
Yeah, how many of them blew up? How many of them? Every 9 months, those things were shit rockets. Those things were barely dependable.
Space station crap is a waste of money and time. The only thing they need to be taking up there is satellites.
Waste of money and time. How do you think you fix the satellites, dummy?
No, but I mean, like thinking that we're going to have a colony of people up there.
That's not what they think.
Yeah, they are. Like people are going to go to hotels and like space and cruise up there and have some fun, like a new Vegas.
That's what Bozos think. That's not what the space station is for, dude. The space station was designed to conduct experiments in space to see what the differences were and to have all of the. You know how many advancements have been made by experiments done on space stations? Not for space hotels, you moron.
What? That part I'm down with, but bringing people up there like in our lifetime to think that people are going to go live in space or hang out up in space, that's like a folly.
I happen to agree with you, and that's what Bezos and Virgin thinks. That's why I agree with you. That's dumb. It's not going to happen in our lifetime. That's 500 years away. We have just now gotten to the point where we can launch human beings into space without any serious fear of the damn rocket going squirrely and blowing up. That was something that NASA was never truly able to achieve. It seems like SpaceX has been able to get that down. Their launches go off flawlessly. They almost never get scrubbed, and they're doing it whenever they want. They're doing it in the middle of the night. They're doing it with wind. They're doing it with cloud cover. That was not the case with space shuttles. Now, James, you might be right. You might be right that there were some nighttime launches, or more to the fact, early morning launches. That's probably what you're talking about. But never in the middle of the night, never in the sun just went down in Florida where they launched from. I mean, that's rare. That's
you think they're using the sun to get up there?
No.
I don't understand the significance of why it's got to be light out.
Your questions are entirely based on your ignorance of everything else concerning the space program.
I don't understand why it needs to be light out in order for me to launch a rocket into space.
No, you don't, because you're not a scientist. You wouldn't understand. You couldn't.
You don't have the facts to comprehend, Abel. You can't possibly understand.
Oh, you do, James? You're a scientist?
All right, give me the reason. Give me the reason why you think they need the sun up in order for this rocket to go there.
I don't know, and I don't ask stupid questions, because if the people who are smart, who do this for a living, say that they can't do it, then I'm just going to go, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is what the smart people say, so I don't ask stupid questions like that.
I mean, it's not like the guy steering the rocket.
I'm one of the smart people.
No, you're not. No, you're one of the worst kind of smart people. You ask dumb questions all the time based on the fact that you don't know shit about Shinola. I'm humble enough to keep it to myself. My dumb questions are all in here.
I can't even tell the difference between good spaghetti and crap spaghetti.
No, you can't. Garbage ass spaghetti.
Mine is not a question. Mine is a statement. I don't understand the difference between.
That's even worse. It's even worse. You're not.
I'm not impressed that they're launching at night versus launching during the day.
Statement based on no knowledge whatsoever.
I mean, that's like saying, okay, you can't go out on a fishing trip in the night. How many times do fishing boats leave at night?
Whatever, nerds. Whatever.
I can change your tire at night. It's no big deal.
Whatever, nerds. All right, it's time for whatever, space dummies.
Airplanes take off at night and in the day.
Yeah, they're not going to space, dude.
They're up in the same. They're in the same journey for a while.
Same thing.
30-some thousand feet of it is.
Absolutely same thing. Absolutely same thing. Amel's right on this one.
Okay. How about a moment of joy? Here you go. You
know that was our moment of joy.
No, this is for you fuckers. There you go. You don't get a good moment of joy. Here's what you get. You know what you get? You get skunks. That's what you guys get. Look at this. Skunks. Look, they can't get up the curb. We're going to help each other.
The hell kind of curb is that?
That's a big one. That's a tire popper. Look, this guy's going to... Okay, I got you. All right, come on. We're breaking out. Come on. Now, look at this guy. There's no way I can do it, Mama. There's no way I can do it. I got you. Come over here. Okay, no, come stand up. I'm gonna fall. Get up. All right, grab my tail. Pull me back. Look, the ones are pulling the mom back, so she has. Look at that. There you go. That's your moment of joy. That's your moment of joy right there.
Wow, that's a stinky house.
Dude. All right. All right. You get that.
That's funny. When you see a family of skunks in an urban setting, it's like not only is there a skunk in an urban setting that's making a go of it, but they have found their soulmate. They're one other skunk in life that they were meant to make a family with, and they have gotten together and they've been together long enough to not just have a kid, but have multiple kids. And we're talking about clearly wild animals in a clearly domestic or urban setting. And it's like one of those things where it just shows that whoever you are on the planet, whatever species you are, whatever your situation is, there's someone for everyone, except for pugs.
The hell are you talking about when you see a skunk in it? Shut up! Well, there have been people for me, and I've rejected them all! Send them packing.
Yeah.
I'm in Tyler, Texas. We only have skunks in Tyler, Texas. That's the same argument about your stupid spaghetti argument about how you only got good spaghetti in big cities. You have no idea the issues with skunks that I've had in my life. Skunks are everywhere, dude. They live everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I've never seen them in downtown Chicago or downtown Dallas.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about downtown, but certainly in the south side of Chicago. Yeah, they're all over. Any place there's woods, any place there's trees, you get some skunks. My dog, oh my God, I've had 2 incidents with skunks. Once, I got sprayed by a skunk, but somehow I got away from it. It didn't get me, but it got Gina Torturo. It got her really bad. It was at the bus stop, and like a bunch of people were like, "Hey, look, there's a skunk right there!" And like we were all standing over there, and the skunk lifted his tail and sprayed it. She had to go home. She actually wasn't in school for like 3 days because the skunk stank. I got on the bus and went to school. I had no real issues with it.
You have to take a milk bath. Like, is that what you do?
Tomato juice.
Get rid of it. Tomato juice. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
What? Yeah, that's what it is. There's some chemical in tomato juice that will actually tamp down the smell. The second experience that I had with a skunk was my dog Blue when she was not a puppy, but she's probably about a year old. She got out the back door in a snowstorm. Yeah, she had to go. She had to go out. So I opened the back door and I let her just go poof around out there. And there was a little skunk in the snow, freshly fallen snow, just kind of hopping around. And oh my God, my dog took off after that skunk. Skunks can haul now. Skunks can run when they need to. Weren't as fast as my husky in the snow. So the blue dog catches it, right? Catches it by the tail and kind of throws it. And I'm running. I'm like half a block away. No, right? Because I'm it's in the snow. I'm in sweatpants and like flip-flops or whatever. And I get to it, and they're doing that thing that animals do before they really throw down. Where they're like nose to nose and they go in a circle. They like circle each other. Yeah. Like they snap each other. And this fucking skunk, man. This skunk just rolled into a ball, lifted its tail, and my entire world went into slow motion. I was like, no, because just as the dog was attacking her, it went a direct hit.
Hit.
It was
on husky fur.
Oh, it was not good. So then and the skunk ran off, and the dog was like, "What's that?" Like the dog had no idea what was going on. So I had to scoop up this stink bagel and run it all the way back to my house. Stink like a fresh. It's like a fresh fart. It's like the first couple of seconds of a fart. Or did you ever cup a fart in your hand and you go, "Holy cow, that's 1,000 times more powerful than when it hits the air." That dog was disgusting. I lived in a condo and there were 3 other units in the condo. That hallway reeked of skunk like you would not believe. Threw her in the bathtub, in the bathroom, right? And I had no tomato juice, so I had to run up to the White Hen, which is a 7-Eleven. It's the same thing. So I had to run up to the White Hen, and I spent like $50 on V8 because they didn't have tomato juice.
Did it work?
Nah, not particularly. I mean, she lived in the bathroom for a while. The house absolutely reeked. The next day she had to go to the vet and get completely shaved down. And then she had to get like some special chemical bath. But here's the funny thing. The dog got sprayed directly in the face by this skunk. And the dog had a white mask, right? She was black, but she had a white mask. Her white mask was stained piss yellow for 5 years. For 5 years, that stunk.
How long it took for the hair to grow out on her face?
I don't know, or for it to fade or whatever. I don't know if they shed their nose hairs and stuff. I don't know if that part sheds the way regular hair does, but it was disgusting. It was only about a year after I moved to Dallas where it was finally like, okay, all right, the piss yellow stained face is now back to being normal. The worst dog owning experience of my life was that dog and that skunk. But I like skunks. I do like skunks. I think they're much maligned. I think they're really cute. Have you ever been around a deskunked skunk?
No. Like, who gets a skunk and deskunks it?
People have skunks for pets. Remember the same guy I told you about who had a billy goat a couple of weeks ago? Yeah. He also had a skunk. He had a deskunked skunk. It's just glands. You can send them to the vet and they can pull those glands out and then they can't skunk anymore.
Aren't they like a rodent?
They are.
They might
they're
be
like a badger. They're like a sort of like a wolverine is what they're like.
Yeah.
Sort of half raccoon.
Yeah, like they're sort of like in that. They're cool though. They're fun. There's skunk.
What? Because you can say you have a skunk.
Right. I've known of people who
they had exotic. They were hillbillies. They had weird exotic pets.
Exactly. They get the glands taken out. Look, that's a rich man, poor man. They have exotic pets.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Rich man has the lion, the endangered species lion, and the poor man has a billy goat and a skunk.
I've got a skunk, but we took the glands out, so it can't spray you.
All right, Emil failed this test horribly the last time I posed it to him. James, let me pose it to you. Let me see if you get this. All right, so the guy had a billy goat. What do you think the goat's name was?
Vincent Van Gogh.
I said hillbilly. I thought you're giving him way too much credit. They had a billy goat. What was the goat's name?
Billy.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, let me pose this question to E. They had a skunk, E. What do you think the skunk's name was?
Pepe Le Pew.
Nope. Although that's a good one. I'll give you an applause on that one. That's a little bit more creative. Guess what the skunk's name was? James?
Smelly.
Judges?
Stinky.
Stinky.
Stinky. It was Stinky the skunk and Billy the goat. These people were idiots. They had fun animals though. So we'd go over there and we'd play with their goats.
Stinky the skunk.
Stinky the skunk, who is no longer stinky.
Dude, goats make such good pets, and I've wanted so long. I don't have enough room to get one, or I would have done it already. Pygmy goats. Are you familiar with the pygmy goats?
Just billy goats.
All right, so there's like how there's ponies to horses. The equivalent for goats is this teeny tiny little pygmy goat that's smaller than most dogs. It's scarcely bigger than a cat. But it has a couple of funny things about it. For one thing, it still does everything a goat does, but it's like in an octave higher pitch. So instead of going bah, it goes,
we play goat sounds. Goats make awesome sounds.
Oh, they do, and they're funny as hell. And they think they're full size goats, so they'll get their little goat horns and they'll get a little attitude and start ramming your shins. And it's like, I'm not going anywhere. This is adorable. The other thing is, I don't know what it is about pygmy goats, but if you scare the hell out of them, they pass out and kind of fall over.
Oh, I know about fainting goats.
Yeah, so you can like sneak up behind them and just go, ah! And
Yeah.
and then fall over. And it never gets old. It never gets old. It goes, and it falls over.
Yeah.
It's great.
So people have pygmy goats as pets as well?
Yeah, so what you need, and it's hard to do in an urban setting, even if you have, the regulations that allow you to do so, you need like at least a whole acre, even for a pygmy goat. They eat grass and they've got to be able to roam, and they can't tramp down the same grass that they're eating all day, every day. And I've just never had the room, but I've been dying to get, the little, it looks so stupid. It's so cute. You're going to scare one? Yeah.
Excited.
Yeah.
Goats are awesome. Water woke them up.
Let's go, yo.
Well, they're doing goat yoga.
See, when they get a little freaked out, they just pass out. They go catatonic. It's the best.
That's got to be dangerous in the wild, right?
Was he afraid that he's up on a heights like that?
Probably. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this. Oh, that guy. That guy too. I'm to James. You and I, man. Simpatico. Goats are awesome.
I thought they climb mountains and stuff.
Oh, they're fantastic in those National Geographic documentaries where there's goats in the Himalayas, and there's goats in the Alps, and there's goats in the Andes. Yeah, they totally dominate the mountains. But selective breeding has left some recessive genes floating around in the pygmy goat gene pool that have this flaw that would not make it in the real world.
So there they were obviously afraid of the dog, so they passed out.
So their defense mechanism was to just give
baby. So excited for going outside. 2 fainted babies. Oh, come on, guys. Get up. Get up. You can do it.
Yeah, that's it. Now, I have seen that.
Uh-oh, in the middle of the sacks. Oh, I've been there.
Hi, guys. Oh, when he went down.
I want this in my life.
Yeah, I know, they're so cute.
He doesn't look like he's passed out. He just looks like he's hyper.
Oh, that one, see, they go stiff, though. You can tell when their legs go stiff.
I love that. Oh,
that's a big one. That's a big one that went down.
Dog freaks him out. I love it.
One more. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Goats are a super underrated animal. They really are.
So you know where to get a pygmy goat?
Is that rain?
I don't know. Is it? It sure is. Yeah, I'm looking at it just banging off your tin roof. Tin roof!
Rustin. Hey, do y'all have an acre there at the 1%er compound, maybe?
Sure.
You want me to tell you where you can get a pygmy goat?
No, we're short. We're short on an acre.
Where do you get a pygmy goat?
So you go out to First Mondays in Canton. You know what that is?
No. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Flea market?
It's the world's biggest flea market.
There you go.
It's insane. They have everything, including pygmy goats. But you're just like an hour away from pygmy goats. Just 1 weekend a month, they open it up.
I want a pig and a goat. I want a pig, one of them little dog pigs. You seen those pigs?
Hot belly pig.
Yeah. Those seem really cool and really nice. But honestly, the goats seem more fun. The goats, the fainting, they make noises that are hysterical. They talk, in a really funny, weird way. I'm all for that. And I like goats. I love goats. Billy was my friend. Billy was. You were talking about the mountain climbing goats. Yeah, I don't know how that mixes with the whole fainting thing, because when I was in Ireland on the first trip that I went with my first wife, we were driving around the Ring of Kerry, which is this really treacherous road that rings the ocean on one side and the mountains on the other, and there's like a little road that you ride around it. It's beautiful views. I mean, it's one of those beautiful places on earth that I've ever been. But man, you come around these turns, and I'm not kidding, like a 3 foot from the car when you're making these turns, you'll see these mountain goats that are just like precariously perched on these tiny rocks, and all 4 of their legs are like together, creating this really small tripod kind of a thing. And it's like, you think you're driving, you're like, they're going to fall right into my car. This is dangerous, but it's not. It's that their evolutionary process or whatever it is has made it so that they do not fall. They can walk the most, and they're wearing like dress shoes on a dance floor. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have rubber soles on the bottom, and they're climbing these rocks, and you just think, how do they do that? So I bet you these fainting goats, there's something wrong with them. We're all laughing. We think it's funny, but there's
when they did the selective breeding to get the smaller and smaller pygmy goats with the cuter and cuter spots and the floppier and longer ears, some recessive genes were necessarily pushed through that wouldn't have made it in the natural process. This is what happens.
They're like Tardo goats. They like,
you know how, like, if you have a pug or a bulldog, they've been selectively breeded so hard that they have other physical problems.
The worst breeds you can get. You're going to be at the vet once a month with those breeds. Those breeds. Best dog you can get in the mutt.
Exactly. So you get the cute little pug face, and they're adorable, and they're small, and they make cute little noises, and they look good in pictures. But there's a price you pay, biologically speaking, for that. And that's what we do with the pygmy goats.
They're cute. Right. They always sound like you can't sleep at night, because if they sleep in the bed with you, it sounds like they're going to die in the middle of the night. Right? It's not fun. By the way, have you ever heard your dog snore? Your dog snores really bad.
Got something going on with her.
He snores really bad. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into some topics. What do you say we talk about? James, you got anything you want to throw? You always have something. I don't want to.
I got a lot, actually, but it's all really small stuff, and none of it's important. So if you have anything important, let's do it first.
No, nothing important. This is a stupid show. I got little small stuff too. So
we weren't going to do like Kyle Rittenhouse or anything.
The what? We're going to do
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle. No, we did that during the day. We do that during the current events segment of the show. We talked about that today. All right. This is more light. This is more fancy free. This is more fun, more silly.
All right. Stick with me, because you're going to think this isn't very James, but I'm going to put a James on it. Okay. Paul Rudd has been named People's 2021 Sexiest Man Alive.
Mm-hmm.
We're aware.
We covered
First off, I think this whole thing is a farce, and I've always thought this, because there's no such thing as the sexiest man alive, because men aren't sexy. The appeal to men is not sex, and all you got to do is look at the sexiest woman alive, or look at the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, and look at the photo spread they're going to have of Paul Rudd. He's not going to be in a Speedo. He's not going to be in a thong, like bending over in a kitchen apron or something. He's not going to be sexy. He's going to be fully clothed, and they're going to have shots of him where the appeal to him is based on, his stature and his appearance that's not sexual based. It's based on his clothes and his style and how his hair is kind of long and flowy or whatever. But it's not sexy. It's not the same thing. There's no such thing as the world's sexiest man.
I've lost you.
You're just projecting what men find attractive in women and thinking that women must be exactly the same. No, women are attracted to different things than men are attracted to.
Right.
So you are
like, you're not going to find a man sexy because you find women sexy.
Yeah.
I don't find a man sexy, but there's got to be the same sex appeal for a woman finding a man sexy.
Let's cut out the word sexy. Women aren't attracted to men. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying women aren't attracted to men. That's what you're saying, just so we can make this clear.
That's not what this list is. This list is Paul Rudd. It's not one of the guys from the Thunder Down Under, the Chippendales, or some guy that's actually sexy who is known.
I would argue that most women don't find that sexy. I would argue that most women would find a guy like Paul Rudd more sexy than.
It's because guys aren't sexy. That's my point.
You're not a woman. You don't know what's sexy.
I think women find different body parts of men sexy.
Yeah.
Then maybe guys are like boob or butt guys. Women aren't necessarily that way. but they find some part of the guy sexy.
No. See, women are deeper than that. Women actually have brains,
right, which is why they don't need his, dick hanging out of his shorts to find it sexy. That's why
what sexy is. That means you're being judged on your sexual.
No, that's what sexy means to the male point of view. You're just projecting what you define as sexy and saying, why don't women define it the same way as me? You're ridiculous. What else you got?
I liked his reaction to being named the sexiest male alive, because anybody that gets this title, they're going to be like, really? I'm the sexiest guy alive? Like, my mom says I'm handsome, but really? We're on a planet of 7 billion people, and this is the top? Really? I don't care who you are. If you don't say that, you're just a dick. But he also said he figures he's going to be on a lot more yachts now that he's been named the sexiest man alive. He says, I'm excited to expand my yachting life. And I'll probably try to get better at brooding in really soft light. I like to ponder, so I think this is going to help me become more inward and mysterious, and I'm looking forward to that.
Does it upset you at all to learn in this fashion that James doesn't listen to the High Noon Show? That he doesn't even catch up?
No, I expect he's doing other things. I get it.
We said all of that. We read those quotes. We read the entire thing. Next. What else you got? I appreciate the effort. I appreciate
you bring up. This is one hell of a storm coming through.
It is. We got a wicked bad storm coming in here.
Am I allowed to talk about this Arby's related story? Did y'all bring up something Arby's related? Do I need to throw this away too?
We did.
America's roast beef, yes, sir.
You're American. You're American. You're welcome to do whatever you want. Dude, you know me. Content is king. If I can get 30 seconds out of telling you how stupid your content was, that's content in and of itself.
Did y'all talk about the curly fry flavored vodka?
No, we did not.
I'm just giving you what Arby's stands for. America's roast beef, yes, sir.
Is that really what it stands for?
Yeah, that was their tagline years and years ago.
I thought Arby's was the name of the guy who founded the restaurant.
Yeah, I think they might have made that.
I think Arby was a guy, but that's marketing. He's right. It probably was a slogan. I don't remember that being a slogan. Can I, today on Twitter, I posted that I once worked in a building where the only food was au bon pain, and I didn't work there long. Do you guys know what au bon pain is?
Yeah, it's a French sandwich pastry store.
It's like French fast food. It is the worst fast food restaurant concept on the planet, and somehow it's stuck around for 30 years. Smaller and smaller. I mean, it ain't that big. But I was joking about au bon pain, but I would have to put Arby's right above that. Arby's is terrible. I think that I've had Arby's once or twice in my life. And the only people, here's what I believe. The only people who like Arby's are people who live in towns that are so small that they don't have anything but Arby's. If you have a choice of Arby's, McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried Chicken, you ain't going to Arby's. That's my point. James, continue on.
Totally disagree. I love Arby's, but they are coming out. This is kind of like a Christmas kitschy merchandising promotional thing where they have vodka, crinkle fry vodka, and curly fry vodka. And that sounds nasty as hell. That sounds absolutely gross.
They got into the spirits business.
Well, it's just a gimmick, so we'll talk about it on stupid media outlets like this and say the word Arby's 100 times. It's 80 proof vodka, just like the regular stuff. However, I am not 100% ruling this out. I have the experience where I used to live next to a bar, and they had the vodkas behind the bar that were infused. The jars, with the little stoppers on the top. So in one, they would have a jar of vodka that had a bunch of Starburst dropped into it, and it'd been sitting there for months. Yeah. And for the next one, it was Skittles and, hot tamales and just on down the row. And
Capitol Grill, they have the Stoli Doli. They put it in pineapple.
Yeah, it's real fresh pineapple. James is going to these dirtbag bars where it's just Skittles.
Yeah, where it's been sitting there for 3 or 4 months at least.
Fancy restaurants, often have their big giant bowls of vodka, and there's all kinds of fresh fruits and stuff in there, and it's supposed to somehow infuse.
That's not what I'm talking about.
No, you're talking about Skittles and Starburst.
The hot tamales. Yeah.
A couple of Baby Ruths floating in there.
Oh, God, no, that's nasty. Don't be disgusting. No, so the one at the very end, the very last one, was bacon vodka, and it didn't have cooked bacon in there. It had raw bacon that had just been dropped in there, and apparently you're not going to get trichinosis or whatever because the alcohol sort of
kills it.
Yeah, just kills it or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I came in there because I lived. It was like the closest bar that for my little duplex where I was living here in New Orleans for a while. And so I went there for months, and I kept seeing the bacon vodka, and I was like, that is so nasty, so nasty, so nasty. And then one day it happens. You're like 8 drinks in, and someone's like, come on, man, have a bacon vodka. And you're like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it. You know, let's go. I'm going to do the bacon vodka. I've been staring at this shit for 4 months, and I'm going to. And so I remember taking the bacon vodka, and as tainted as my palate was 8 drinks in, I remember thinking, oh, it's a lot better than I expected. In fact, that was pretty good. And that wasn't the last time I did it. I did it probably 3 or 4 times total. But I remember how surprised I was that I dismissed it so completely for months. And then when I had it, it was like, you know what, way better than I thought. So the Arby's curly fry vodka might be that. So I'm only about 90% sure it's nasty. But 10% of me says maybe.
What drink are you going to make with the curly fried vodka?
Nothing. You're going to shoot it, man.
No, Bloody Marys. You can use it in Bloody Marys. That sounds perfect for
Very good idea. Actually, yeah. I take my answer back and adopt Pugs.
We used to at the bar, one of the buddy bars that I slung at back in the day. We had a very well regarded Bloody Mary bar on Sundays, and one of the things, look, you can make anything with the Bloody Mary. We had everything. We had salami, cheeses, shrimp, peppers, everything. But the most popular thing was bacon. It was like fresh bacon. You would take your glass and you would fill it with bacon, and then you'd make the Bloody Mary on the bacon, and the bacon would sit in the Bloody Mary and it was actually with some olives. It was very good. We were always running out of bacon. We need more bacon. Make more bacon.
Now that you mention, I think you could go with, okay, so you use the curly fry vodka, and then you're going to throw in some of the meats. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times they throw horseradish in. Here you could maybe use the Arby's sauce.
The horsey sauce.
Yeah.
Are you talking about for Bloodies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve says use the Arby's sauce as a mixer. This was one of the gimmicks that we had that people used to use. We had an entire bucket filled with Taco Bell sauces. People would put the Taco Bell sauces in their Bloody Marys and mix it up. And it was good. Look, a Bloody Mary, a good Bloody Mary is a wonderful thing. I like it.
It's hard to drink more than 2 of them, though. They get you kind of full.
But I like it when it's like also a meal. Like, you get your big Bloody Mary stick. I'd fill the cup up with some bacon, and then the big Bloody Mary stick would have some olives on both ends, a couple of sardines in there, big block of cheese, piece of salami, and then boom, you just dunk it in there and you drink it.
And I like the ones with the big shrimp in it.
Yeah. Well, shrimp. We also had shrimp, but we did more sardines because shrimp was more expensive. Because you didn't know if people were going to go with the seafood in their Bloodies, so we pushed the sardines. Sardines are not something that I like, but oddly enough, they really work in a Bloody Mary. It's pretty tasty. It's like, oh, okay, I could see how this works, but also extra hot. Like you like your Bloody Marys hot, or you like them mild? I like them extra hot. A lot of Tabasco. We had the fire mix, and then we had regular Bloody Mary mix, and then we had like a medium. Fire mix was probably about 50-50 tomato juice and Tabasco. It was so hot, but it was good. It was really good.
I like the spicy.
Yeah, spicy Bloody Marys are good. When you're hungover and you're drinking one of those Bloody Marys, and then you got food on the big stick, and you're just able to eat all the food. Oh man, now I want a Bloody Mary. Expensive though. That Bloody Mary bar was expensive. It wasn't cheap. You can go back and you make a couple trips if you wanted to. Pretty sure it was.
Now that we're on alcohol, have any of y'all tried the peanut butter whiskey?
No, I saw that you have a bottle of it. How is it?
I haven't tried it. Yeah, I bought it because I hear like everybody talking about it, but I haven't tried it yet.
Gross ass people. Yeah, no. First of all, James, didn't we establish this on a show when maybe he wasn't here? Alcohol in general tastes like garbage, right? I mean, it's all garbage. It all tastes.
Oh, not all alcohol.
Well, look, the alcohol that is
give me an example.
Good and gets the most praise is the ones that taste the least like alcohol.
Vodka is terrible. Vodka tastes terrible. A glass of vodka, you give me the best vodka on the planet and you pour it in a glass and say, take a sip of that. I'll be like,
Yeah, that needs
hey, that ain't
alcohol.
good.
Vodka needs something. Like whiskey you can drink.
Yeah, but how is the measure of drink most often expressed? They're like, ooh, you can't even taste it in there, right? That means it doesn't taste good. When the better your drink is, the least you can taste it. That means it doesn't taste good.
Agreed.
Like I like whiskey. Like I'd like whiskey straight up on the rocks. But now I've gotten hooked to this damn Jack Fire. Have you had any of that?
Well, I've had Fireball.
Well, it's like Fireball, but it's a little bit more whiskey than Fireball. Oh, dude. Like I can put down a bottle of that crap. I think that's what I was on at the Stones.
Like I can't handle any American whiskeys. They're
really.
Well, he's got a delicate constitution. Yeah, he's a delicate flower animal, not like us, not scumbags like us.
So it's not the scumbag. Well, actually, it is. It's cheaper and it's more sugary.
It's not as refined. Our palate's not as refined as your Pugs.
Yeah.
Your
No. Like
constitution's
a pure Scotch or an Irish whiskey that doesn't have all of the sugars and stuff and made with corn the way the Jack Daniels garbage is.
Not corn, Amel, not commoner food like we.
Well, no, but that's sweet. That causes the hangover, dude.
Corn mash.
Yeah, me and Amel could get drunk on prison moonshine.
Well, I could too back in the day, but I'm old enough now where you know what I like? I like a nice glass of champagne every now and again. I love champagne. I could do champagne. Cheap champagne. It doesn't matter. You give me a $3 bottle of champagne. If it's cold, you pull it in a glass. I love the bubbles. I love the taste. A nice cold beer.
Champagne?
I love champagne.
Oh my God. Talk about a hangover waiting to happen.
No, completely agree. But I love the flavor of champagne. There's something about it that I like. And not just champagne, sparkling wine. I'll do a California sparkling wine. I don't care. I'm not a snob about it. Whatever's cheapest. Make it ice cold. Put it in a pint glass. When I used to hang out at the pub and grub, Wayne used to have bottles of cheap champagne that I would just pour in pint glasses and drink them because I liked them. But yeah, you're right. You pay in the morning for that.
My God. That is the worst hangover ever.
Some rough hangover stuff, boy. But I just love it. I like I like drinking it out of a pint glass, a frozen pint glass filled with champagne.
Interesting.
I was a curious individual. Ooh, now we're getting lightning. We got a whole bunch of stuff plugged in here. Are we going to blow out the entire system if there's a lightning strike too close? You know what I mean? Should I unplug everything that's charging? Is that a thing we should do?
Yeah.
What is this?
What's the likelihood that that's going to happen?
Well, that kind of thing only happens to other people. It can't happen to us.
It's his equipment. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just showing that I'm concerned for his equipment. You know what? I'm going to unplug this. This is fully charged anyway. Okay. There we go. Oh, Mr. Popular. 10 o'clock. This is nice, man. It's 10 o'clock. We're already halfway done with the show.
The dog's already up. She can't figure out what all the noise is out there. She's like,
it's a good storm we got going on. All right. Hey, I got one, James. You mind if I jump in here with a little something? Oh, by the way, you're always welcome to bring things to the table, too. I just know that you like to just sit and respond. You like to
I'm fine.
The third chair. Let's see here. Did you guys hear about the situation that's going on in Paris, France with some women's soccer team? The Tanya Harding was
trying. Tanya Harding thing, yeah, the Paris Saint-Germain.
How crazy is this? Yeah, you're the soccer guy, so you can explain this to me. What the hell's going on? All right, do you know about this? We didn't get to it today on the High Noon Show. We were going to talk about it because Tanya Harding was trending.
Tanya Harding was trending today.
Tanya Harding was trending because of this story.
This is it's exactly what it is.
Yes. All right, so I'll just tell you people what happened. Some female soccer player, pro soccer, I guess, for some Paris team, she looked at what Tanya Harding tried to do with Nancy Kerrigan and went, that seems like a good idea. And what she did was she went out to dinner with a bunch of her teammates and she was driving. And the girl that she was second string to, like the girl that started at her position, was in the car with her. So she's like, oh, no, I'll drive and I'll take you home first or last. So she drops everybody off. And then at the last place, she drops off the girl who starts in front of her. right? And as soon as the girl who starts in front of her got out of the car, 2 dudes came out of the shadows with pipes and started beating her legs and sent her to the hospital.
Oh my God. What's wrong with people?
It's the exact same thing as Tonya Harding. The exact same thing. It's like she must have seen that movie from a couple of years ago, I, Tonya, and went, huh, I wasn't alive for that, but that seems like that idea has legs. No pun intended. Look at that.
Pun intended. Pun totally intended. That was great pun.
It wasn't intended. No, it wasn't. I just kind of I stumbled across it as I was saying it, but it wasn't like I thought about it beforehand. Paris Saint-Germain player Amanita Diallo was arrested after a teammate was attacked by masked men last week. The team announced Wednesdays, and reports surrounding the incident are absolutely bonkers.
They were wearing MAGA hats and they put a noose on her neck. Is that what happened?
Yes, that's exactly it. 26-year-old Diallo is being accused of orchestrating an attack on Kiera Hamarau, who plays the same position, after a team event in Paris on November 4th. According to ESPN, Hamarau was traveling home in Diallo's car following dinner, and when the vehicle arrived at her place, 2 men dragged her out of the car and beat her legs with iron bars for 2 minutes.
Dang, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
They don't let people get beat that long in the UFC.
Hamarau was reportedly taken to a nearby hospital and needed stitches, but did not suffer any career-ending injuries. So that's good. So it didn't even work. It didn't even work.
Well, it did for a while. She got to start in front of her at this last game.
Oh, did she?
Yep.
Because she was arrested yesterday or whatever. I don't know. Time differences.
Well, at least she got to start.
The motive behind the alleged attack was due to playing time. PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, released a statement Wednesday morning confirming that Diallo had been arrested in connection to an attack on a teammate, but did not name Hamarau. Well, it's like, well, you know who the teammate was who was arrested, right? Mm-hmm. Paris Saint-Germain can confirm that Amanita Diallo was taken into custody this morning by the Versailles Regional Police Service as part of the proceedings opened following an attack on the club's players last Thursday evening. Paris Saint-Germain condemns in the strongest possible terms the violence committed.
Wow.
PSG added, since Thursday evening, the club has taken all necessary measures to guarantee the health, well-being, and safety of its entire women's team. Paris Saint-Germain is working with the Versailles police to clarify the facts.
Just don't go to dinner with that chick. That's the only thing you got to do.
Do you think? Okay. So, in the case of Tonya Harding, who I have I had a fight with Tonya Harding on the air, and she threw her headphones at me and stormed out. Okay. Tonya Harding comes on our show. Were you there for that, James?
All right. Can I back it up just like 2 days?
Yeah. Oh, so you were there for this?
Oh my God, Pugs, you don't remember? Go check your email.
Oh.
So we were asked by someone in sales to have Tonya Harding on because she was going to box some Mexican chick in the parking lot of the Silver City Cabaret. And I'm not saying that as pejorative. The lady really was a Mexican national. And it was going to be on HBO. And so in order to promote it, they had bought a schedule of spots on 105.3 because that's where Tonya Harding is going to buy spots when she's boxing someone in the strip club. Our show.
That's where we worked.
So who was it? Was it Brad or Rachel that stopped by and explained that, can you have Tonya Harding on the show? Yeah, we can have Tonya Harding on the show. I was nobody. And I was working on something at the computer, like some audio editing thing. And you and Kelly were having the conversation. And Sybil was next to you. And she said, listen, there's one stipulation, though. They stressed, whatever you do, you can't ask her about the Nancy Kerrigan thing. And y'all both, within a second, went, oh, sure, we can do that. Yeah, of course. No,
absolutely.
Don't worry about it. And so when I think it was Rachel, when Rachel walks off, y'all turn to each other and you're like, we're talking about, yeah, we're totally talking about it.
We're gonna totally first question.
and then Kelly goes, no, I got it. James, you got to write Tonya Harding song before she gets here. I'm like, she's getting here tomorrow. And I had to work that night, so like, how am I going to, she goes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a good song. It just has to be something. And you kind of like already knew where this is going. You're like, okay, so we're going to have Tonya Harding in. We're going to talk to her about whatever she wants to talk about. When it gets boring, we're going to ask her about Nancy Kerrigan, and she's going to get pissed and either yell at us or probably leave. And then as soon as she leaves, we're going to play the song. Yeah. So y'all were already simpatico. Y'all already knew what each other was thinking. And it was kind of my first lesson. It's like, oh, that's an interesting prediction they're making. I better play along. So I made this horrible song in like, yeah, that one. I had
we got it ready to go.
Oh man. And so when she came in, she was boring. And when we were all bored, y'all asked her about Nancy Kerrigan and she tried to dodge, and y'all kept asking her about Nancy Kerrigan. So she got mad and threw her headphones at you, and they would have hit you except the cord stopped them. And then you're like, okay, we're going to wait about 2 minutes until she can get to her car in the parking lot, because you know she's going to turn it right on to 105.3 immediately. And we wanted to hear every second of this song.
Mm-hmm.
And then we played the song. And it went down exactly like you said. It went down exactly like, and we did. We went and watched her go box some Mexican chick in the parking lot of the city.
And she got her ass kicked. Remember, she quit.
She didn't come back after the second round. Right.
Yeah, she refused to come out. And we were standing like near her corner, just heckling her the whole time, just being so mean. Hey, and you know what? If Tanya Harding, look, I saw Tanya, and I kind of felt bad about my run-in with her. I was like, this girl had some bad.
No, you didn't.
No, yeah, I did. I really did. Because you
do. We're humans. You feel sorry for her.
Yes, she had a really rough life, and stuff wasn't really great for her. And that's why she's as damaged and broken as she was. But she came into the studio with such a fake sense of, hi guys, like it was really fake. And you could just tell that it was really fake, that she was like a mean person and that she was just waiting to turn like a snake on you. So yeah, I do. I remember this.
Well, Tanya Harding's in D-Town, and she's gonna lay the smack down. She's boxing with a Mexican chick. Be there, Jeff will hit you with a stick. It's Tanya Harding, in case you didn't know. It's Tanya Harding on the Pugs and Kelly show. She put down her skates and picked up some gloves. So come to Silver City and show us some love. I know you're a big fan, Mr. Jeff Gillooly, but breaking people's knees just ain't Kalooly. You can never tell it by the first glance, but I hear Tanya's boobs are surgically enhanced. It's Tanya Harding, in case you didn't know. It's Tanya Harding on the Pugs and Kelly show. She put down her skates and picked up some gloves. So come to Silver City and show us some love. Ladies and gentlemen, Tanya Harding has been wrongfully accused of crimes she did not commit. She's been slandered, evicted, and jailed more times than Bobby. The least you could do to repay this one-time Olympic representative of our great nation is go to the parking lot of the local Nookie bar and watch her box some Mexican chick. It's Tanya Harding, in case you didn't know. It's Tanya Harding on the Pugs and Kelly show. She put down her skates and picked up some gloves. So come to Silver City and show us some love.
Oh,
that's it.
Beautiful.
Oh, the good old 105.3.
Oh, that was
that place was a zoo. It really was.
James, you're at least as good as John Hinckley at your songwriting ability, and that's the highest compliment that I could offer you at this point.
I'm proud, very proud of that statement. No,
it
was calling
you a genius,
because I know what you're thinking, but I don't think it's quite dawned on everyone else. Is every stop Tanya makes on the circuit, she's the punchline. Yeah. And they may not be as adept or adroit or have a horrible little song to play to rub it into her face, but that's pretty much the treatment she gets everywhere she goes.
Everywhere she goes.
For the last 20, 30 years, for the rest of her freaking life. Oh my God, what a horrible existence it is to be a villain in pop culture.
I remember the line of questioning that led to the blow up, because I think it was Kelly who first went there. She first said, so Tanya, let's talk a little bit about the Nancy Kerrigan situation. And Tanya Harding's joke to deflect that was, who? I don't know who you're talking about. And Kelly's like, come on, Tanya, really, let's talk about that. Oh, I don't think anybody wants to hear that. And she said that with a look on her face like, I am going to kill you people. Like, it was a devil. Her tone and inflection was, oh, I don't think. But her look was very mean. And Kelly said to her something like, well, then I really don't know what else to talk to you about. And Tanya went, oh, there's plenty for you to talk about. I mean, you've invited me on. And I jumped up and screamed, we only want you on to talk about this. What the hell else is there to talk to you about? And that's when she said, F you. She dropped an F-bomb, and Bobby's like, I gotta dump that. And then she took her headphones and threw them at me and stormed out. And it was like, but honestly, why the hell do you think you're famous? Why do you think people are going to come out and watch you get into a fight in a boxing ring in a strip club parking lot, if not for the thing that you claim nobody wants to talk about? It's the only reason we wanted to have her on the show. The only reason.
Pug, she was in the Olympics. She was an Olympic skater. She was a representative of our country. Do you question any other Olympian when they want to be on the show?
Well, a resume like hers, she's got a pretty unique resume as far as her Olympic history goes.
She was the greatest female skater with perfectly functioning knees the year that we needed her.
That year.
Yeah, the year we needed her in the Olympics.
Yeah,
she was there for us. And for the rest of our lives, her life, this is how we repay her, by making her a mockery.
Do you remember when she got to skate? Because remember, they let her skate. And then do you remember how that? Remember, she had a
shoelace broke.
Lace malfunction, and so she stopped in the middle of her thing, and then she skated over to the judges and plopped her skate up on the judges' table and started crying. And the camera was on her, and she's going, "My lace is broken. Please give me another chance." And they're like, "Nope, no, man, you're lucky you're here in the first place. Sucks to be you." It's like, why? No,
I remember I was trying to read her lips, and I remember that's not fair. It's like, ooh, that's a hard thing for Tanya Harding to say to anybody.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not fair. Oh, what's that like? Jesus.
Fair is not where you should be right now.
Clovis ass had her porno come out by then. No, it did not. Her porno came out after she was on the show.
Porno? Oh, the wedding night video that Jeff Gillooly released.
Yeah, that was after she was on the show, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I hadn't seen it. I mean, I don't think I've seen it. Have you seen it?
I certainly
remember it.
No, I wouldn't watch that thing. I'm not.
Why would you want to watch that?
I mean, I kind of.
I mean, but now,
if you turned it on, I wouldn't block my eyes. But
let's see what Pornhub has. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, I got to do .com. Hold on. Ugh.
Was she on Dancing with the Stars?
Porn? No.
Yeah, no. I think she was. I'm almost sure she was.
Yeah, someone just asked that with the
right.
Come on. She was on Dancing with the Stars? She was.
Well, character reclamation. It's only been 30 years. Still trying. All right. Tanya Harding on Pornhub. Let's see if she's got something. No, nothing here.
Oh, man, that's totally her.
Oh, man, but there are some other things there that I'm going to just have to X out of. Bookmark those for later. Yeah, I don't remember seeing her porno. But you know whose porno I did see? There were a number of celebrity weird freak pornos. John Wayne Bobbitt's Frankenpenis.
Yeah.
I saw that one.
Ew.
I went to high school with the attorney that represented him.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
Look at that. So you had to see Frankenpenis.
Well, I mean, obviously, I was here when all that happened, but when I went back for my high school reunion, he was an attorney. We were talking about weird clients that he had, and he told me he had John Wayne Bobbitt, and this was and he represented him during the porn stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. I got another thing we could talk about here. Crazy carjackings. This is a fun story. This is actually a very strange story. So here, well, okay. So so a carjacking happened in Chicago, where there's a specific part of town where it's the Wild West, man. It's basically carjackings are happening all the time. And I guess we could play this game. Do you believe it? We did the Do you believe it on the James, here you go. Remember we played Do you believe it on the cops saying that people were being injected with something at the Astro World concert.
Right.
Remember, the society has broken down to the point where people are running around with needles injecting people, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is what's happening in the world. I'll never go to a concert again." Well, today at the press conference for Astro World, which I watched, they said, "Yeah, that's not true." And the security guard, who they said is the guy who said that security guard is now going, "I never said that. That's stupid, man." It was like so made up out of whole cloth and then circulated on social media and then pretend news groups formatted it in a nice little news story so that your crazy Aunt Martha would see it and think it looks like an actual report from a news organization. And it became a story that everybody was talking about. Not true. Not at all. Remember, we said, what's the end game on that? Was you're going to inject somebody. Drugs aren't free, first of all. Okay. So you're just going to buy like a whole bunch of drugs and then stab people for in the neck during a pet. Did you know there was going to be pandemonium? It was a ridiculous story from the beginning, but it was designed and then echoed by the chief of police, very similarly to the Philadelphia cop who said that 30 people stood around filming the girl getting raped on the bus or train that we all later learned was just a cop trying to make the world seem much scarier than it is so that, he can be justified the next time he wants to tune somebody up a little aggressively. Same thing. Cops are doing this. And James, you had a really good point about these cops and why you don't believe these specific cops. And why is it?
I don't remember exactly what I said. I don't screw it up.
You were talking about the political appointments and how these are not actual law enforcement guys. They're just
because they're bureaucrats. They're not. They're political appointees. They're more akin to politicians than actual guys who want to make the world a better place.
Yeah. So they're just sort of echoing what their political party wants put out there. And now just because they're, it used to be a cop says something in a press conference, you had to believe it because there was trust in our institutions. That doesn't really happen anymore. Now, whenever they say shit, it's like, yeah, that sounds crazy. Whose agenda does it feed? You have to ask yourself. Every time a cop says something fantastic, you have to ask yourself, whose agenda does that being out there feed?
There's a pretty solid history, though, of these sheriffs and deputies and public officials in law enforcement having a shady past as well. They've lied to the public plenty, and this isn't a new thing. It's not like, well, today you can't trust anyone because they're political appointees, and it's not like it was when we were kids. No, they were shady when we were kids too, and they were shady before we were kids, and they will always be shady because it's a human endeavor. So we just have to. Yeah.
I got another one of these stories that I don't believe. First of all, I don't know what news site this is. Okay. This is not the Sun-Times, the Tribune, or I don't know what CWB Chicago. I have no idea what this is. Will County man carjack radio host in Bronzeville. When God has you, ain't nothing no man can do, is apparently how he survived it. That or he was involved in it. And this is all just a stunt for his radio show. All right. So here are the people involved. Look at this. All right. Now, this occurred in Bronzeville. Now, Bronzeville is known as Bronzeville because everybody in Bronzeville is black. And it's very dangerous. Bronzeville was, during a time, 50, 60 years ago, the wealthiest black neighborhood in America. It's where whole bunch of, titans of Johnson & Johnson, Johnny Johnson, not Johnson & Johnson, Johnson Publishing, Ebony Jet, and all that stuff. A whole bunch of Barack Obama, Reggie Jackson. Jesse Jackson, all these, was once a very well-to-do area of Chicago, but it was exclusively black people. It was wealthy black industrialists. And okay, so these are the people involved in the carjacking. This is one of the worst neighborhoods in Chicago now. It's like where all the bad stuff is happening. So this guy here, you see this? This is the radio host and political black activist in Chicago, okay? Mm-hmm. This is his car. He's got a Porsche Panorama, very nice car. And this is the carjacker in one of the worst neighborhoods in Chicago. This guy is carjacking this guy. And I'm sorry, I just don't think this guy is hanging out in Bronzeville. This is a white guy from Aurora, which is like a white trash suburb 30 miles outside of Chicago.
That's where Wayne and Garth are from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Aurora.
So this guy is driving right here. So I just wanted you to see who the people were that we're talking about here in this story. So here's how the story goes, because it is crazy, and I don't believe it for a minute.
No.
A Will County man has been charged with carjacking a Chicago political operative and radio host in Bronzeville. First of all, he's a political operative. So, that in and of itself, I go, what were we just saying? Whose agenda does this story serve?
We've already established a motive.
Right.
Because most of us don't have a motive to stage a carjacking. It's not going to help our careers very much. But this guy does.
And it is not a racist statement at all to say that 99.9% of these carjackings that are occurring in this neighborhood are black gang members. It's a problem. It's a big issue in Chicago right now. You don't want to drive your nice car through these neighborhoods, because if you get at a stoplight, chances are something bad's going to happen.
Right.
So
if just to be fair, if you're in Wyoming and you get carjacked, it's probably a white guy.
Probably going to be a white guy. But this particular issue of mass carjackings that are occurring in this area of the south side of Chicago is absolutely being perpetrated by gang members who are being very successful at it. And they're still, someone in a really nice car, and they're not even just targeting white people. It's just nice cars. They don't give a shit the color of the person driving, but the people doing the carjacking are black dudes. They're black gang members all the time, except in the instance where it happened to a well-known Chicago political operative and black radio host. See where I'm going?
Right.
Yeah, 0% chance it happened. Just 0. Jussie.
But listen to the story. A Will County man has been charged with carjacking a Chicago political operative and radio host in Bronzeville on Tuesday morning, police said. Aurora police arrested William Nixon, 28, after the victim, Mays Jackson, directed them to the location of his stolen iPhone, which was inside the car. I want all the carjackers to get 100 years, Jackson said on his radio show Wednesday. He told listeners that he was waiting for a red light to change near State and 25th Street when a large uniformed delivery truck bumped into the back of his car, a Porsche Panorama.
Wow. That's
being
a political activist.
Right? And radio host.
Oh, he's not a radio host. He's a guy that bought time on like some crummy AM.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's not working for iHeart or Cumulus or Odyssey. Yeah. He's working in one of these sketchy 88.7 radio stations, on the far side of the dial that you can buy time on. Jackson said that when he got out of his car to exchange information, the truck's delivery driver hopped into the Porsche's driver's seat. The uniform truck had been reported stolen about 25 minutes earlier in suburban Dalton. Jackson told listeners that he fought with the man, who only managed to get away because he lost his grip on the carjacker when chunks of the offender's hair came out in his hands. You can kiss that car,
fro.
What's that?
He ripped his fro.
He ripped it. Well, I don't. Does he have a fro? It's just sort of like long, shaggy hair. A redhead. He's a ginger.
Fair enough.
Ginger. But so you see what happened. So he's at a stoplight. He gets rear-ended by like a UPS truck. And he gets out and he's like, hey, man, why are you rear-ending me? And as he's having the conversation, the dude just sort of dekes him, goes around him, jumps in his Porsche, and drives away in the car. Now, I guess the story is that he stole the delivery vehicle as well. I don't know. It's just such a sketchy story. Jackson told listeners he fought with the man, who only managed to get away because he lost his grip on the carjacker when chunks of the offender's hair came out in his hands. You can kiss that car goodbye, was the takeaway Jackson got from his conversation with Chicago cops at the scene. He said his wife picked him up and drove him home. That's when he saw his laptop and realized all was not lost. When God has you, ain't nothing no man can do. Yeah, because religious people don't get murdered. That's true. He used the laptop to track his iPhone, which was still pinging inside the Porsche. Jackson said he called a phone number on the Aurora Police Department's website and spent the next 20 minutes helping the cops zero in on the phone. As officers approached the Porsche, they saw a man who matched the description of the carjacker running nearby. Cops arrested him after he tried to carjack another driver outside of a fast food restaurant. He's a carjacking mofo. Nixon is charged with vehicular hijacking and possession of a stolen motor vehicle. He is due in bond court. Okay, so there was an arrest. There is police. This is a little bit more. There are more details. I still find the whole thing a little bit sketchy. I think the situation just seems way too convenient for this guy who is an agitator. He is a political agitator in the city who would probably be the last person you'd want a white guy, the one white guy carjacking in Bronzeville to target, right? It's like, this is like the worst possible situation. So here's what I bet. I bet that we've got another one of these situations like those crazy South Carolina where this is a setup, where these two guys know each other and that there was money that was paid. This guy's probably a meth head. Here, we'll go back to him. Here, just so you can get a look at him again. All right. So look at this guy, right? This guy's probably probably willing to do anything for 20 grand, right? I mean, he'll do 6 months in jail for 20 grand. He'll get caught, whatever the deal is. I don't know. Let's see here. CWB is legit, crime focused. Legit how? I don't know. Yeah. It's Murdaugh. Murdaugh, the South Carolina people are who I'm talking about. This story stinks to high heaven.
I mean, I guess there's a possibility it could have gone down like you said.
I mean, why drive your car, first of all, in that neighborhood?
Well, no, you've people do, like, the Obamas still live in that neighborhood. So, I mean, that's adjacent to the University of Chicago. There's more Nobel Poet Laureates within that 2-block area than anywhere else in the world. There is money there. It's just the surrounding streets are really scary.
But wouldn't you take like another exit?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Martin Luther King runs right through the middle of Bronzeville.
Yeah. I go to breakfast there. There's a place, a breakfast place there that I take my son to that is just absolutely incredible. So, I mean, it's not as bad as like the ghetto because there's big money. There's big money in that area. Dude, these are mansions on the lakefront, I mean, it's all black. It's all, it's like I said, it's the history of Bronzeville is, all the great jazz.
I'm seeing a lot of beauty shops.
Well, the surrounding area is Kenwood, and Kenwood can be sketchy, but Hyde Park, Bronzeville, all of that. That's where the Obama Library is going. It's where the Museum of Science and Industry is adjacent to. I mean, there's culture there, but there's also some really scary shit that's going on in that neighborhood.
Okay, so look, it's not a 100% hoax. There was a car stolen, whether it was voluntary or not, but the van that he supposedly bumped into the Porsche with, that was stolen, right? So this guy did commit a crime. So it's not a 100% hoax. So what did he do? He paid this guy to go steal a van and bump it into him and then steal his car?
I think it's a very complex conspiracy. I think
the more complex it gets, the more I start to lean toward maybe it is just a big coincidence that some idiot had stole some van and he didn't start out in the Bronzeville neighborhood, but when you steal a delivery van and you wind up in a different neighborhood and bump into someone else, hey, I just upgraded from this crap van to a Porsche and I need to get out of this crap van because people are looking for it because it's already been reported stolen. So
I spend a lot of time listening to the Chicago Scanner,
you talk about that.
I do. I love it. It's so fascinating. It's the greatest drama unfolding in real time anywhere. It's great. I'll be cleaning the house and I'll have the scanner on in the background. But then I also follow the Chicago Scanner thread, and the thread often has whole, videos, live videos from scenes and stuff like that. And I've been watching a whole lot of security cam footage and all that stuff of the carjacking epidemic that's happening in that particular area of the south side of Chicago. It's actually spreading north now too. It's not just in that area. I shouldn't just pretend it is. Yeah, no, it's definitely started to spread. This carjacking gang, I don't even know if they're related, but whatever. There's carjackings now. It's becoming a real problem in Chicago. But I watch a lot of these videos, and I have just never seen anyone that looks like the guy accused of carjacking in this one.
No, it's just so weird. Yeah.
I've never seen. And, I just find it interesting that it's happening to a political operative, an activist, a potster,
radio host,
a potster. I just think that's all just a little bit too coincidental. And I'm not a cynic by nature, but I know my city and I know people like this guy, this operative, and I just think I think we should wait and see how this plays out. We should wait and see if this dude flips on him, right? And goes, because he's going to be facing some time. No gun was involved. So, it's every other carjacking in this area, a gun is involved. It's a legit carjacking where there is real problems if they get caught. No gun involved here. There's not going to be a gun charge. There's no mandatory prison time. This is just a guy that stole a car. You know what I mean?
So interesting. Yeah, so interesting. Because it's not impossible that it was a carjacking, but man, those are some long odds.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that one plays out.
Which one's longer? We have the first ginger carjacking in Chicago history, or it really happened? Which one's?
Yeah, what are the longer odds? I don't know. All right. What else do we have here? You know what I did today? I spent a little bit of time talking with some people about sandwiches. I got into a very deep sandwich conversation on Twitter today. Do you know where you're from, James? And E, you're from Buffalo, so you might actually. I know what Buffalo would have, but we were talking about sandwiches that are regional sandwiches, like sandwiches that you can't get anywhere else.
Like
a good example
or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chicago. This wasn't what we were talking about, but I grew up with an Italian beef sandwich that you can't get really anywhere outside of Chicago. The Philly cheesesteak was originally just something that you could get in Philly, but then it sort of branched out everywhere. We were talking about there was a sandwich called a horseshoe sandwich. Do you know what a horseshoe? Have you ever heard of a horseshoe sandwich?
First time I heard.
Yeah, it's like an open face hamburger patty on a piece of toast loaded with French fries and then nacho cheese sauce. And that's big like in St. Louis, Southern Illinois, Springfield area. I think it actually started in Springfield. And then there's a thing called a Hoosier pork sandwich, which is really big in Indianapolis. And I decided I want to try all of them. I want to find all the. So, is there anything in Tyler, any kind of a sandwich that you guys just made up, or Buffalo? Anything in Buffalo that you guys eat, what you had as a kid growing up that you can't get here? That you're like, oh, that's a.
Oh, there was a buffalo sandwich at a place called Schwabel's.
Schwabel's,
and it
sounds German.
It was beef on weck. And
Kemmelwick buns.
Yes.
Dude, you're absolutely right. Those are awesome. Yeah, man. Congratulations. Buffalo's got a great one. Mm-hmm. The Kemmelwick, now correct me if I'm wrong. The Kemmelwick bun is almost like a pretzel. It's like salted on the top.
It's salted
right?
on the top, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Yeah, Schwabel's is the name of the place. They would stack it like way, way, way high beef. And then you'd get the salted Kemmelwick bun and then the au jus sauce.
So it's like a French dip. Yeah, it's like French dip with the salty bun. Oh, my God. That's a good one. That's a great one. James, you got anything that you could throw at us? I mean, you're in New Orleans, so you got the po' boys and all that. That's definitely
muffalettas.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that was invented here, like oysters Rockefeller and bananas Foster and crap like that from New Orleans. But from my hometown of Tyler, absolutely nothing is unique to Tyler.
But there's not like a place that serves a kind of burger because that's how these things start. They're just different variations on things that already exist. So nothing to speak of.
Well, there's a lot of little gimmicky places here and there, but no, nothing to speak of. Like we have a lot more adventurous stuff here in New Orleans. Like there's a waffle restaurant where they put basically anything on a waffle, and it's better than it sounds. But one of them was the like it's a nacho waffle, so it's like a waffle with chili and cheese and then sour cream on it. And it sounds nasty, but it actually tastes really good when you eat it.
That sounds delicious. Yeah, that actually sounds delicious. And so, dude, I love waffles in place of buns. I've had hamburgers on waffles. There was there was some place, some like sandwich place called Donnie's where I grew up, and you could get you could substitute waffles for bread. And I've done that. It's very good. Cheeseburger with waffle with onions. Oh my God, waffles are delicious. And also, what's that thing? What's that sandwich that I love? It's like whenever I see it on a menu, I always get it. It's a sandwich that's made with French toast bread. Like the bread on the sandwich is French. A Monte Cristo. A Monte Cristo sandwich.
Yes.
Those things rock. That's ham. That's just a ham sandwich. It's ham and American cheese, but it's served on a on French toast, and you pour syrup over the top of it, and you eat it with a knife and fork. It is awesome. I don't know where that's from. No, I want to know where the Monte Cristo is from. Maybe Monte Carlo.
Or Monte Cristo.
Monte Cristo. Oh, look at that. Comes right up here. Monte Cristo sandwich. Oh, man. Now I want a Monte Cristo sandwich. You can't get that very many places.
Origin, United States. America just wins everything, don't we? I mean, isn't it kind of boring how much we just win at everything?
But what's the history? From the 1930s to the 60s, American cookbooks had recipes for the sandwich under such names as French sandwich, toasted ham sandwich, and French toasted cheese sandwich. The Monte Cristo sandwich supposedly entered the scene in the 60s in Southern California and exploded in popularity. Now, this is when I think of old-timey food, like I think of the Monte Cristo sandwich. Like that's like an old time, like that's something that my grandpa might have enjoyed, back in the 1960s. Get yourself a Monte Cristo. Have you ever seen a restaurant menu from like the 1950s?
It was, they had like, would you like to, for an appetizer, would you like a pack of Chesterfields?
Basically, yes.
Oh, so bizarre.
Dessert is just a glass of scotch.
Bro, flipping through magazines from 1940. They're like, would you like some laudanum? Would you like some cocaine? Would you like some morphine? Here you go.
Look at like, I don't know if you can pull this up. There's anywhere. I'm always fascinated by it. If you look at like a menu from just an average American restaurant in 1945, they have hamburger patty on bun, 15 cents. It's just so, but the dinner selections we are so spoiled with our restaurants. We walk into the Cheesecake Factory and it's a goddamn phone book filled with options.
The encyclopedia.
The Cheesecake Factory is ridiculous.
But I mean, Cheesecake Factory is a crazy example of this. But I mean, just like a regular restaurant, you go into an Applebee's and there's 500 items that you can choose from, where the average restaurant in 1950 had like 6 things. Salmon, slice of pork, steak, and then everything was like creamed corn. Like that was the big fancy thing. You get creamed corn on the side. Shit you would never get now in a restaurant.
Creamed corn. Oh my God.
And in the appetizers weren't like sliders, buffalo wings, potato wedges. No, appetizers were like
cottage cheese.
Fruit cup.
Yeah, we like salted this corn husk. You can just kind of gnaw on it until your food's ready.
They were big on soups, though. A lot of soups.
Yeah, it's not real food. See, I have a problem with soup because I think it's a fraud. It's a beverage. If it's like tomato soup, if it doesn't have chunks in it, it's a beverage.
Hold on.
Like beef and barley. Remember that soup?
Yeah, but there's okay. So here, look, this is good. Let's see this with this one.
One of the menu items is like bread.
Yeah,
just bread. You want a piece of bread? Sure, I love a piece of bread.
Okay, so here's one. Specials, house specials.
Can you show
chicken?
Chicken.
Is there? I don't even tell you what kind of chicken.
Right. Not Tuscan rubbed rotisserie chicken. Just chicken.
We just have chicken. You should be happy.
Chicken, and here's what you get. It's 45 cents. You get chicken, you get French fries, lettuce, and a slice of tomato. Oh, and honey. That's it. That's the option.
They were putting honey on the chicken back then. I get it.
That's their special. Let's see here. There was also ham or bacon and 1 egg, any style. 40 cents. Just a slice of ham, or a piece of bacon, and then 1 egg. How do you want your egg?
Any style.
And the steaks. I got 2 steaks. Salads look a little bit fancier though. They got a stagecoach salad. There's like always like rock. Okay, Beehive Inn restaurant. This is from 1947. Fish, fillet of sole, fillet of haddock. That's it. That's the only 2 fish options they got. Sole or haddock.
Haddock is.
They
already fished that one to extinction. Is that what happened?
No, there's still haddock.
I'm just being a dumbass.
Dude, you know what their appetizers were? And they didn't even call them appetizers. They call it hors d'oeuvres. Orders. These hors d'oeuvres. Check out the hors d'oeuvre. Half a grapefruit. That's it.
It's kind of what that's par.
And that was that had to be for breakfast.
Beehive Inn menu, all day menu, it says. So, table d'hors, dinner. Okay, so here's what you get for dinner: half a grapefruit, tomato soup, fillet of sole, duck, roast chicken, Brussels sprouts, potato pancake. I mean, there's like nothing. This is like
potato pancakes used to be something you'd get all the time. Those have really kind of dropped off the.
They were replaced by French fries. The potato pancake just is a variation of French fry. It's just French fry got smushed down.
You know what you could get for dessert at the Beehive Inn back in the 1940s?
It's got to be a piece of pie.
Pears and custard.
That
sucks. That stuff sucks. Restaurant is awful.
Pudding. I would imagine they used to be big on pudding, like chocolate pudding. I remember.
Just go to the Golden Corral and look at the 82 food options you have, and be grateful.
Man.
Just
be
grateful. Be happy. Enjoy it. Be happy for once in your life.
Let's see. Grilled peanut butter. What? It's terrible.
Grilled peanut butter?
Grilled peanut butter is a lunch sandwich.
Okay.
There you go. We just throw some peanut butter. Can I get some jelly on this? Oh, what are you, a Rockefeller?
No.
What are we talking about here?
Fancy pants, city slick, coming here with your newfangled ideas.
Like I like maybe if I got grilled peanut butter, I'd like fry the bananas or something. Like just the peanut butter?
Just peanut butter. That's it.
Wouldn't that like melt out like with the oil, like the peanut oil?
Real.
Hey, here you go. Here's their sandwiches at the Family Fare restaurant in New York City. Here's what you get for lunch. Okay, here's your choices.
What year are we talking about?
It looks like 1950s.
Got to be some pastrami here.
Now, here are your.
No, they're
done. What are you, fancy? This is the 1940s. That was Jew food. Now you had to go into a specific neighborhood to get that kind of stuff.
Pug said that on me.
Here are your sandwiches. Ready? Steak sandwich, burger, big burger, cheeseburger. That's it. That's all you got.
Okay, good.
What about the big cheeseburger?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. That's now
like
you're
stretching it.
Get a hold.
Have it your way. Have it your way was
not invented yet.
No. Burger King hadn't come around with the have it your way. You're gonna have it the way they're gonna make it, and you're gonna like it.
They had supply chain issues. They had disruptions in the supply chain,
and that probably is a big part of it. That you could only serve the food that was easily, obtained by your restaurant, depending on what region it was.
Your local haddock fisherman.
They're like, sorry, we're out of beans today. You're just gonna have to eat rice. And
all right, so
our grandparents live. Like we make fun of this. That's not that long ago.
Here's a menu. Ready? Here's a menu from what is this? Okay. This is a British hotel from the 1950s. Here's what you got if you stayed at this hotel. For breakfast, scrambled egg. Not eggs. Scrambled egg.
Yeah, you pig. Get a hold of yourself.
Here's your breakfast. Dinner was cold meat and salad, jam. Cold meat salad.
Ooh.
And here, have a cup of jam. No bread for that. No crackers.
I don't know about that one.
And then for supper, this is England. So, they didn't have lunch. They have dinner. Dinner is their lunch. So their breakfast was that. Then you had your dinner. Supper, rabbit. That's it. No further discussion. No description. Just rabbit for dinner.
Rabbit and shut up.
No, let's see here. On Tuesday, the breakfast menu is bacon and a tomato.
No lettuce.
No. Why you gotta be so picky? Why did we just come out of the Depression? We can't get lettuce. Besides, we gotta feed the rabbit something.
What do you make?
Before we kill it and cook it.
Yeah.
For dinner on Tuesday, baked haddock.
That's haddock again.
Haddock was a big fish back in that day.
Potatoes, cauliflower, apple pie. And then for supper, potato soup. That's it here. Have some. Please, sir, may I have another bowl of potato soup?
Yeah, tomorrow for dinner we're having gruel.
All I'm saying is, man, honestly, we're much fat. Like, we're the fattest we've ever been, and I think it's because we got away from these incredibly limited menus that people used to have to deal with in restaurants.
Well, I like, what the hell's porridge? Do you even know what porridge is?
Yeah, it's like oatmeal. It's basically
I know it's like oatmeal or it's like grits, but what is it? Is it oats, and why is it called oatmeal? Is it made of oats, or is it made of like hominy grits or something?
Well, I think oatmeal is what we call it in America, and porridge is what they call it.
Is that the exact same thing?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just.
You see, we don't know. We don't know. We are so separated from the diets of just our grandparents that we couldn't even have a full conversation because we don't know. We don't know what it was like. You realize, like, John D. Rockefeller probably never ate a banana, right? The richest. He was like,
right. No, you're absolutely right.
J.P. Morgan probably never had a blueberry, right? The king.
Why?
Because they were exotic. You couldn't get them everywhere.
Yeah, but if you're Rockefeller, you got Rockefeller money, you can get some exotic stuff.
First off, you would have to hear about a banana, and then you would have to fly to Honduras. Right?
Hey, John D., I got this hot new tip for you. Have you heard of a banana?
Yeah, it's a tropical fruit that grows in Honduras. If you want to eat one, we can fly down there so you can eat a banana and see what that's like, and then we can fly back to a first world country, billionaire.
What are those yellow penis-shaped objects?
I want to put that in my mouth.
John
you need a banana? Yeah, that's what I meant.
Let's 23 skidoo down to the Caribbean.
I mean, blueberries are not that exotic. They're here in the U.S.
Well, no, that's the point. They don't have to be that exotic. They just have to be native to another continent for it to not make it into the regular.
Yeah, they didn't travel well, man. They didn't have refrigeration. A banana.
Yeah, but blueberries are here. Like, I'm sure they had blueberries and raspberries.
Okay, yeah, and
cherries. I mean, George Washington had cherries.
Within 100 miles of where they were grown. That's where you could get blueberries.
If you're in Maine, you're never seeing a mango in your entire life. They don't have refrigeration. They don't have the refrigerated boats. They don't have the refrigerated trucks. They don't have the refrigeration behind the grocery store. They don't have the nitrogen tanks that they can keep it in so it can travel, or you can eat an apple even off season. You know, we take for granted that you can go get an apple 12 months out of the year, but that wasn't the case until very recently. And they have to do this thing where they put them in this tank and they just keep pumping nitrogen in there till there's no more oxygen in there. And then they just leave it there until it's time to ship to the store. And that's recent. That happened in your lifetime, Emil. And so that's why canning was such a big deal. That's why preserves were such a big deal. You really could only get a peach about 3 months out of the year for the entirety of human existence until about the time you were a kid.
What you're describing is the macadamia nut phenomenon from Hawaii.
Yeah.
I don't know this.
People didn't, but
like when you go to Hawaii, they have macadamia nuts. Like, but if you're not here, they don't grow macadamia nuts here. And so a lot of times people go to Hawaii and they come back, they get you, oh, here's a macadamia nut.
Leslie says bananas were very popular in the beginning of the 1900s. Not in Utah, they weren't. Maybe in Florida, maybe in,
New Orleans, actually. It started here. They're
not in Utah.
Yeah, what about bananas Foster?
New Orleans,
right? And that's why it was developed here first. Is the Chiquita banana guy started the Banana Republic in Honduras, and he was making so much money from bananas he overthrew the government so he could have a monopoly on the banana trade. It's a whole fun story, but it's corrupt as hell. But that's where the term Banana Republics comes from. Is some dude was shipping them to New Orleans from, I think it was Honduras, right? Is that Honduras or Nicaragua?
Pretty sure potato chips were invented in Saratoga, New York.
Yep.
Yep.
Half a grapefruit. Again, half a grapefruit is showing up on all of these menus. That must have been a real fancy thing back then.
I hated grapefruits back then. I still don't like them.
Love them.
Grapefruit's awful. Oh, God.
No,
talk about sour.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's like the Sour Patch Kids of the fruit genre. You when you're in the mood for it, it's fantastic. I can understand why you wouldn't want to eat it all the time.
Hey, could I interest either of you two in a jelly omelet?
What's it surrounded by?
Egg?
Egg with jelly?
Any style. Like that's some sort of amenity.
If I'm going to spend 75 cents on this newfangled jelly omelet, 75 cents.
That's the day's wages.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, fancy.
Did they grill the jelly too?
I guess. Yeah. Because you got to flip the omelet. You put the jelly in it, you flip the top of the omelet over it, you do a little flip.
And they're grilling peanut butter and grilling jelly.
Yeah, and you got 10 minutes to eat it before you get back in the mines.
Okay, hey, this is a good one. This is Jack and Marion's restaurant in Los Angeles. You can get a club sandwich for $1.35. You can get a corned beef sandwich. Okay, now this is a menu. Oh, there's like 15 different kinds of turkey sandwich that they're offering. How about a sardine sandwich? When was the last time you saw a sardine sandwich on a menu?
I can't think of that.
Cream cheese and lox sandwich.
Sounds like a Jewish place.
Sturgeon. Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How about a sturgeon sandwich with Bermuda onion and crisp lettuce? Oh, you know what else? All of these people in the 1950s, it was like a big staple on all restaurant menus. Like any restaurant you'd go to. Pot roast. It's a pot roast. You can't get pot roast. Where are you getting pot roast nowadays?
Grandy's,
Cracker Barrel?
Boston Market.
There you go.
That's it.
Pot roast. Everybody's got the pot roast.
Cool.
All right.
Mama Daughter Steiner.
All right. What else we got today? James, you got anything else you want to close out with? We did the crazy carjacking.
Look, I know y'all talked about this on the noon show. I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming you talked about this because I didn't listen to it for 1 second. But your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, just before we go. I'd just like to hear your thoughts on the whole Aaron Rodgers setup. Did you see the interview that he did on the Pat McAfee show where he was?
I think Aaron Rodgers is a raging narcissist who believes himself to be untouchable in comparison to other human beings, and I that's my thoughts on him. I suffered Stockholm syndrome with Aaron Rodgers until very recently. Now I just think he's a drip. Now I just think he's a guy who, are we familiar with the relationship that he's in with the crazy far left Wiccan rubbing sticks and twigs over wounds girlfriend that he's got?
I don't know about her. Tell me about her. I don't know this.
Shailene Woodley, the actress who he's engaged to, is the one that apparently got him into all of this holistic stuff. And basically, he's like,
I've only heard this from you. You said like he rubbed a crystal on his leg or something.
Yes, because his girlfriend doesn't shave her armpits and wants to live in a tree. It's just like she's a crazy woman. And it sounds to me like she's had an undue influence on Aaron Rodgers. And I'll tell you this about Aaron Rodgers. Do you know about the situation with him and his family?
I do not.
Oh, really? This is the biggest thing about Aaron Rodgers.
You say this like I'm supposed to know it, so I feel kind of bad. But what?
Well, yes. To be fair, I'm a Bear fan, so any bad, negative stuff about Aaron Rodgers, Bear fans know.
You're on top of it.
That's our oxygen. We need this stuff.
I hear you.
Aaron Rodgers has had no contact with his family in like 20 years. Well, over a decade or something.
That's suspect.
They want nothing to do with him. His brothers, mom, dad, they're all very close. They're all, whatever. They're still this thing. They don't invite him to Christmas. They don't invite him. Now, there's a whole bunch of stories as to why. I don't know which is true. But the common denominator is that they think he's an asshole. That he's kind of a dick. And, his brother was on The Bachelor.
Right. He talked about it.
He did? He talked about the family estrangement?
Well, I mean, that they didn't get along and they didn't talk. And it had been some time.
So all I can think about is this Aaron Rodgers thing is, I used to always just assume that the family were the ones that were in the wrong, but I'm like, now maybe they got something. Maybe he is just a dummy, just a narcissistic douchebag who thinks that whatever's in his mind is, I mean, look, this happens when you've been told that you can do no wrong since you were in 8th grade and can throw a football in a spiral 50 years. That's my thoughts on it. I'm no longer suffering from Stockholm syndrome.
It's starting to make more sense to me about like in the off season, he started dating this girl. And then in the off season, he decided he wasn't coming back to the Packers. She, to me, seems like she's gotten into his head and told him, hey, Aaron, you need to do this and you need to do that. And he's getting run around by the chick, I think.
This pretend doctor that he keeps referencing as a doctor isn't even a doctor. He's like some kind of weird witch doctor with a chiropractic degree.
No,
but it came to him from her. This dude's a friend of Shailene Woodley's.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, I think all of his, I would say since he started dating her, his behavior has turned. Like his hair, he's wearing his hair different. He's gotten more outspoken with the media about the team.
Yeah.
Just a whole.
Look, and we don't know if that's true or not. If this is really what's in his heart, or this is girl.
Well, we do know that last year at minicamp, he used his time in front of the microphone to just go on this crazy tree hugging environmental rant that we know, and everybody pointed to her and went, that's his girlfriend doing that.
Up to it. Yeah, because I heard that theory about Colin Kaepernick was just this kind of Saved by the Bell dork until he started dating some girl from ESPN that was like a blacktivist or something. And I mean, that's kind of believable, but it's also, it reminds me, like, have you ever dated one of these chicks? Because I was dating a blonde girl. I was dating this blonde girl when I was on the show back in the day, and she was kind of trying to be a witch. Like, she was Wiccan. She practiced Wicca. And she wasn't quite like a full-blown witch, but she was working on it. Like, I know, like sort of hierarchy.
No, James, I've never dated a witch. To answer question.
I think I remember telling you these stories. Her name was Angela, and it was amazing what I would put up with because she was absolutely beautiful. So, like, I would go to her apartment, and she had all her pots and pans were on the counter, and they were all full of salt. And I'm like, all right, what's going on here? Yeah, she's like, well, I'm cleaning my crystals. I'm like, you're gonna have to explain that sentence to me. And so the crystals, that do certain things and have certain powers, it doesn't just shine brightly all the time. It kind of dims out, and you have to clean them. And so by cleaning them, you submerge them in salt for like a whole lunar cycle or something stupid like that. And I put up with it because she was absolutely beautiful. I was like, oh, okay, well, clean your crystals. Carry on, are you ready to go? You want to go get some food? Like, I would just roll right through it. Didn't bother me at all on the outside, but on the inside, I'm like, what is this woman into?
Well, guys will put up a lot if they're really attractive.
And she kept something over her door so evil people wouldn't walk in without feeling uncomfortable.
And yet you got by no problem.
Yeah. Apparently this doesn't.
So what was the breaking point?
She started sleeping with Clark from the Toadies, and so
okay,
she stopped hanging out with me. Yeah,
there you go.
All right.
I can't compete with that. What am I supposed to do? You suck for not calling me anymore. What do you see in this guy? Is he really better than me? Of course he is. He's Clark from the Toadies. So
I'm James from the Pugs and Kelly Show.
Carry on. He wins.
There's a pecking order here.
Next girl, go.
Rock star whipping boy.
She's a witch anyway.
All right. That's it. We're done. We're gonna no. It ain't time yet. We still got like a minute or so.
Frankly.
Well, all right, fine. Bye, James. Wait, fine. That's fine. Yeah, what are we gonna do in the next?
Well, did you have something?
No, nothing that could fit into a 2-minute window. Honey, so did I. I was lost in the world, enough to make you cry.
It's ridiculous. We play.
I was down and out, without a doubt. Looking for. You know why you're laughing? And you know why you're saying it's ridiculous? Because you haven't heard this song in a couple of days, and you recognized it right away, and you went, oh, God, I kind of like this song. And now you're laughing because you can't believe you kind of like this song. Okay. Bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, high noon, for the high noon broadcast, streamcast, whatever you want to call it. There he goes. That's Sunglasses. Goodbye. So wave goodbye, Sunglasses. There he goes. There goes James. Say bye, James. There he goes. And this is me. We'll see you tomorrow at noon, Central Time. High noon. Topics. Enjoy. Drum solo. Enjoy John Hinckley.
I would not be free. All the work I had to do, and freedom came to me. I was down and out, without a doubt, looking for my home. I was down and out, without a doubt, the only home I've known. I am not the hurting kind, I wish you all the best. I have come so very far to finally pass the test. I was down and out, without a doubt, looking for my home. I was down and out, without a doubt, the only home I've known. I would like to settle down, just live off the land. Serenity is what I found, I have to make a stand. Everyone has a dream, honey, so did I. I was lost in the world, enough to make you cry. I was down and out, without a doubt, looking for my home. I was down and out, without a doubt, the only home I've known. I was down and out, without a doubt, looking for my home. I was down and out, without a doubt, the only home I've known.